most users claim that they care about privacy, but their behavior often suggests otherwise.
If you keep posting this dry copy on Twitter about how this is faster, no one cares.
I feel like most use cases people talk from transparency perspective are actually like such bullshit.
Sometimes people are willing to give up privacy for the sake of convenience.
On-chain reputation or anonymity.
Decentralization, don't kill me, I know it's important, but right now that is not a priority.
Hi everyone, this is the Pretty in Privacy podcast. My name is Angie and I'm here today with Dayana from WalletConnect. Hi, nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Hey Angie, thanks so much for having me. I'm doing great. How about you?
Great. Thank you so much. Obviously, I saw your tweet about podcasts, and that's how it landed. So, how many podcasts overall have you landed after that shout out?
I think it was 7. And the fun thing about that, in case anyone's curious and wants to put themselves out there, the post was, hey, I'm open to podcasts if anyone wants to invite me. I shared that on X and on LinkedIn. And the first invite came 9 minutes after on LinkedIn. So that was pretty quick. I had another one on LinkedIn, a couple on X, and then my network messaged me on Telegram. So, moral of the story, if you want something, just ask for it and you'll be surprised. Things work out.
Cool. I actually share the same opinion pretty much. So, I wanted to check real quick, chat about your journey into crypto. Obviously, you're not born a crypto marketer, or how actually you're referring to yourself, crypto marketer, Web3 marketer, or not marketer at all?
I refer to myself as a media person, and that is because I've worked in media since 2015. I graduated college and went into a travel media job, which is exactly what it sounds like. They would send you to different destinations in the world, like Costa Rica, Curacao, and then you write articles about it. So I did that for a few years. And then during COVID, I launched my own business as a copywriter and as a coach for career specifically. And the one thing that's kept consistent throughout my entire career has been that I work with media, video, and writing. And when 2023 came around, I went to my first crypto event, which was NFC Lisbon. And I was really fascinated by the space because it was different from anything that I knew. And everyone was still on Discord. And at the time, crypto marketer wasn't even something popular. There was kind of a whole marketing debate, I think a year after that, which is when people finally accepted crypto marketers. And I ended up working at Cointelegraph as a video creator. And ultimately, I got my job at WalletConnect, where I am now the head of social media. And in that role, it's 90% what you don't see under the surface is a strategy, and 10% is me at events, at videos, showcasing the team, our CEO, our founder. But yeah, media would be the one thing that's been consistently present in my work since from college until now.
Cool. I love that. I actually also came to crypto from journalism, I guess in like 2017, and I feel like it actually helps you to have a very different perspective rather than, traders, like founders, because they're always so like delusional, maybe in a good way, but I feel like they're lacking, this critical thinking that journalists and like media people have. So, how do you feel about that?
I think it's the perception because a lot of people don't understand public relations and narrative. Narrative is how you shape a story around yourself if you are the brand, and around your product if you have a product to market. This is why founders need marketers and media people to create that narrative and to reinforce it. Because if we're being honest, a lot of crypto and tech projects are very complicated. Even privacy, if you look at ZK, it's pretty hard to explain. It's hard to explain how that works. So you need people that are good at telling simple stories that people remember to actually inform the world why they even need that project. So narrative is something that is still largely overlooked, I would say, and that is the job of a good marketer.
Cool. I love that. So you're in the space for a while. How many years total, you think?
Not that many, actually. I think I'm going into my fourth year, which, if you really think about it, is not that long, but it feels at least like 10 years because we know how much the space changes. When I came in, it was shortly after the boom of NFTs. I remember being at an event with people and it was the hottest thing. And then NFTs crashed, never to recover to this day. And we've seen so many metas come and go. Privacy was super hot. Now I argue it's not the meta, but that's fine because we still very much need privacy. And now that people are done screaming about it, we can actually get to work. Now we have agentic payments. Now we have anything payments. Now we have TradFi and DeFi converging. And I use that word a lot, but I actually hate it. So I've seen a lot already in just under 4 years.
Amazing. So looking back, what assumptions about Web3 did you have when you just entered the about the industry, and which turned out to be like completely wrong?
The biggest assumption that I had that turned out to be wrong, and I think that's a good thing, is that to join Web3 or the blockchain space, you had to be some kind of a genius coder. I thought that people who were really good at math belong here. I thought that I had to be an engineer. I didn't see how my skills of making videos, for example, and writing could apply to this space that was so heavily technical. And to be fair, when I came into the space, writing was kind of on the come up, sure. Video, no, because a lot of people were undoxed. They were on Discord. They didn't want to know others to know who was the person behind the screen name. So that was my biggest misconception. And since has been totally debunked, which I think is really, really good because a lot of people want to join but might feel insecure.
Yeah. Um, I wonder what is a popular piece of Web3 advice or like Web3 marketing advice that you completely disagree with?
I hate talking about the features of a product. If you are the engineer and the product manager, you would want to be like, yeah, this is the fastest IBRL, this is the best cheap gas fees. I don't care about any of that. Like, yeah, it has to be present because we want something that is marketable for sure. But if you keep posting this dry copy on Twitter about how this is faster, no one cares. No one cares. Maybe the first time it's like, cool, great product, bro, whatever. But then after that, you have to show why it's usable, why people prefer it. How is the experience better? How do you feel more safe or cooler even using this product? How is the community within that product? So when we're marketing something, we have the left brain and the right brain. We have to reach both for someone to truly become a user, an ambassador, or an investor of that product. So instead of just talking about the features, the technical aspects, talk about the experience and the emotional aspects as well.
I love that. On the other hand, we still see a lot of projects doing it, within the 2020 playbooks, maybe even like 2022 at latest. But still, I see lots of like similar things, like similar communication models, similar like marketing playbooks, all the same stuff being repeated. So in your opinion, has Web3 marketing actually matured, or are we still all doing the same things we were doing in like 2022, just with like different buzzwords, maybe?
I think there's a lot of slop and a lot of imitation out there, which is normal. It happens. I see that video has helped projects stand out. So, over the last 12 months, between the summer of 2025 and 2026, we saw a big spike in creators. So, a lot of projects hired creators to talk about what they're building, which helped bring some individuality, but then everything ends up getting watered down. I believe that the best marketing strategy is multimedia. So, that is writing about your product. That is, for example, being on LinkedIn, being on X, having an email newsletter, having a blog for those who like to read. But then having video where you showcase the founder or the founding team, the CEO, the people that matter that are steering the project forward. You also want to have short explainers based on stories. So if you look at Wallet Connect, we've done a number of stories recently with Solana where someone went to buy coffee in Lisbon with Solana on Wallet Connect Pay. So that was a quick 30 something second video. It's got a great beat to it. People remember it, people watch it. It's got over, I think, 1,100 likes and a ton of impressions. And that is something that brings the product to life where you don't look like everyone else. Because let's be honest, a lot of people are building the same thing, and video is a really big edge. And now it's not even expensive to start doing it. You can do it with AI, you can do it with real people, but just start integrating multimedia into your strategy.
Yeah, I actually saw that campaign and I think it was great because it did look different. So, it's so hard to stand out right now, like stand out on the timeline, do something that catches people's attention. So, I feel like we will see more storytelling, video, kind of content moving forward, and that's honestly great. I wanted to chat about Wallet Connect more, actually. Especially, I'm curious on the privacy aspect, of course. In my opinion, most users claim that they care about privacy, but their behavior often suggests otherwise. What is your take on it? Have you guys done any research on that side, like what exactly users need in terms of wallet privacy, and actually whatever like data or insight you have, would love to hear.
So the research that we've done is actually focused on usability more so than privacy. So I can't quote privacy stats, but we do have the Wallet Connect State of Crypto Payments report that came out not too long ago. And what we find is that people care about convenience. So in my personal opinion, sometimes people are willing to give up privacy for the sake of convenience. For example, if you go to buy groceries and you want to pay with crypto, and you have two options. One is a wallet with less privacy where you can just tap the wallet as if it's a card and then send money to the store. You might want to do that as opposed to use a safer, more private wallet that requires 5 to 7 different steps. So what we see is this is basic human psychology is often we are more prone to choosing convenience over privacy, but we claim that we want privacy because that makes us look cooler. So that's my take on it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And it means that us privacy builders have more work to be done. So in terms of like UI, UX, to actually deliver on what people would love to use, which will be like both convenient and private. That's the ultimate goal, basically. Cool. Is privacy fundamentally a technology problem or a user education problem, in your opinion?
I think there might be an overlap of the two. What I can tell you is that now that we're going to different events beyond the crypto bubble with Wallet Connect. For example, we went to Money 2020, which is a fintech event, not a crypto event. You've got a lot of banks there. You've got DTCC. You've got a lot of institutions that need that privacy. So there's definitely a need for privacy. I think that the education is there on that level. For example, if you look at, the earlier steps of blockchain, it was all about transparency and you want to have a ledger that's visible for everyone. But guess what? You're talking to a bank and they say we can't leak that data. That cannot be public, it has to be private. So I think on the institutional side, the education about privacy is there and everybody wants it. On the individual user side, I think it depends. If you talk to someone that is a diehard blockchain, person from the early days, they might think, "Oh, I want full visibility." So privacy is not necessarily a concern. But then if you talk to people who are maybe in the space more recently or who are thinking in a more conventional way, then they're like, "Yeah, of course I want privacy. I don't want someone to see who I'm sending money to." So I think there's some need for education, but I think some people will always want transparency because that is just an ideal that they have. And it's very hard to change idealistic people.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually an interesting perspective. Um, do you think transparency has become overrated in crypto? Because, like, we talked about transparency since Bitcoin actually appeared. And I feel like most use cases people talk from transparency perspective are actually like such bullshit. I don't know, maybe at least to me.
I think that transparency and decentralization is not a priority anymore compared to the early days because the space has changed so much. And some people like to see that, some people hate to see that. It is what it is. At the beginning, the whole Satoshi Nakamoto manifesto was that we need transparency from these big players. But guess what? Now that the big players saw how good the tech is, they joined the game and they brought their money with them. And obviously, when projects run out of money, they have to get funded by someone. So I think that it's an interesting time because transparency is important if we're looking at the goal of gaining independence and not being controlled by these larger entities, institutions, and banks. So, from the idealist perspective, transparency is very important. So is decentralization. But from a business perspective, if you look at who's funding projects, if you look at who's keeping the space moving forward, who's supporting the tech, then privacy is more important. And people don't really care about decentralization anymore from a business perspective.
Yeah, I think it's important to admit at every stage that the industry is evolving and the new joiners, new like large companies, institutions that are coming into crypto, bringing their assets here, they demand something that is completely different from what we offered in 2016, let's say. And actually, wallets evolve as well. So over the years, I should say wallets have evolved from like a simple transaction tool into a digital identity layer, kind of. How do you feel about that framing, and how does Wallet Connect react to this change?
At WalletConnect, we support wallets with whatever they choose to do because we've been around since 2018. We're a legacy company in the space, and we have had two rounds now of the certified program for wallets, which basically is us establishing new standards that wallets can aim for. Once they fulfill these standards, they become a certified wallet within the program. So that way, we've always encouraged that push toward becoming better. Now, a wallet as an identity layer, I'll give you an example. When I first joined the space, my friend Ornella, who works at the Ethereum Foundation, told me that if you're applying for a project or for a job, a lot of the time they'd be like, hey, give me your wallet address. And then they would go and look at your transactions and be like, oh, she's been to this many events, she's got this many POAPs, this is what she does on chain. So at the time, that was a really weird concept to me, but it almost felt like a digital footprint, sort of like a CV of what you actually do and how you interact on chain. Now, the way that I see it is that in my head, a wallet could be a hub for money that you are staking, for money that you are holding in there, for something that you're, like setting a long or a short perps. It could be a hub for a lot of things that you do on chain. As far as identity, I don't know if I would call it that. Like, this is where privacy comes in. I don't necessarily want someone to be like, hey, what's your wallet address? Let me see what you're up to on chain. But I think that wallets are definitely much more advanced than years ago. They have better branding as well. Look at MetaMask. And I think that they are becoming sort of like little ecosystems for people's actions on chain.
Yeah, I was thinking while you were saying that if I was comfortable sharing my, uh, top wallet as my CV, kind of, because I do actually whatever I can in order for people not to be able to track it. I have one wallet for like day to day purchases. I have another one for like events and everything that's like super public, and then like staking and investment is like another thing. And I feel like yeah, we definitely need to talk more about that, like how everyone feels about sharing their data, and what is like the one data that they are not comfortable sharing at all. So like I feel like we're gonna evolve to that stage as well, when wallets, on-chain wallets, will be like inevitable part of everyone's lives. And I cannot imagine that future without like privacy in it, honestly. Not even because I work at a privacy project, but myself, I'm from Ukraine. Crypto became honestly a life change kind of thing for me, because banks work really differently during the wartime. We have like limits. We have just like Swift payments are not allowed for people because of the war again. So crypto is actually the only way I can keep, living normal life, doing my payments, and like shopping without thinking, oh, how do I do it properly? So if you are like that, active crypto user, you basically cannot share your main wallet with everyone here and there. Do you think we will see more new products, like maybe wallets, maybe something else, in this like kind of bear markets, just because users during bear markets require for like different kind of tools and features? How do you feel about that?
I think that it would be a really big waste of time if we don't build during a bear market because sentiment is already so low that it's like, what else do we do? It's not even fun to be on X anymore. Like I scroll the timeline and there's 5 people on it, so not great. I think that
That's because of World Cup.
I mean, maybe that's why. I can't wait for that to be over too, but that's another thing. I think that the products that we're going to see, what we are seeing now being built, are focused on institutions. And again, institutions coming has been something that we've known for years, especially in the last 2 years, but now they're already here.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are building for big institutions, for banks, for funds, for family offices, instead of for the everyday user. And when we look at what they're building for those guys, a lot of the time that's infrastructure. So I think that infrastructure and consumer tech are two very, very different things from a user perspective, from a marketing perspective. And I think infra might even take longer to build. So I'm curious to see what projects come out. But yeah, if we're not building in a bear market, we're just kind of being depressed and wasting time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Regarding Wallet Connect, again, do you have any specific data point or data metric that Wallet Connect intentionally chooses not to collect? And it's like part of your kind of vision as, a crypto team.
I'm not on the data team, so I don't get to call the shots, but I know that the data that we do collect is mostly about how people choose to spend their stablecoins in the latest report. So, for example, we want to see if 76% of people say that they want to pay with stablecoins, but then end up not doing that and paying with fiat, like what is broken. You go to the checkout, what is broken. We also track data in terms of, and this is not data that we actually track, this is us asking people. So people give us their consent and they tell us what they do with their actions. We see that people spend crypto differently in different geographies around the world. So in developing countries or in countries that have economic instability, like for example, Argentina, maybe Ukraine as well, people use crypto for everyday purchases, like you said, going to the grocery store, paying for rent. And then if you look at countries in Europe, if you look at a bunch of countries in the kind of developed world, so to speak, economically, people buy luxury watches, people buy luxury property, people buy yachts, that kind of thing. So we're interested in data that shows us people's behavior when it comes to stable coins. And that is because this year, WalletConnect has had a big focus on payments with WalletConnect Pay. So we're interested to know how we can make the process better and how we can improve payment rails at checkout.
I love that. Yeah, there's totally a huge difference between like different user geos and what exactly they are spending their stables on. So I feel like that can be a really, really fun data to explore and make some reports about that. I wonder what are some misconceptions people still have about how Wallet Connect works.
Are you guys a wallet? That's probably the number one thing. We're not a wallet. Wallet Connect started off in 2018, and what people know Wallet Connect mostly for is the iconic QR code. And I don't say iconic because I'm marketing Wallet Connect. It's what people tell me when they see me at events. So it used to be a complicated process to actually find the correct wallet, connect it, then send money here and there. With Wallet Connect, you just scan a QR code and you can do actions with your wallet with the dApp that you're using. Now with Wallet Connect Pay, that process continues, but you can walk up to a cash register, the POS machine, and pay right there. But yeah, people think that we're a wallet. People also don't realize that Wallet Connect is a network. So the Wallet Connect network is really huge actually. Last year, we tracked how many transactions flow through the Wallet Connect network, and the amount of transactions that flowed was about $400 billion. So the Wallet Connect network is node operators, is the Wallet Connect partners, is all the wallets, 700 plus wallets. So I think that people don't understand that Wallet Connect is like an iceberg and they see the top of it, but there's so much underwater that they don't see, and that is the network.
Cool, cool. Yeah, it means you have a lot of work to do still to educate them. Looking 5 years ahead, what does the ideal wallet experience look like to you personally?
To me personally, it should feel as if it's not something I'm actively straining myself to use. So, one thing that I like to do is I like my Face ID. I like to unlock a wallet like that. I like to have visibility over, what tokens I have and what is that value in dollars or euros, for example. I like to be able to see easily what is connected to my wallet because people go to events, people might connect to something temporarily, then they forget to disconnect, and it ends up becoming a drainer later on. And there's horror stories that we've seen. So I like to have visibility over that. My ideal wallet wouldn't collect too much data, just the bare essentials of what it needs to operate. And ideally, I would be able to have agentic payments within that wallet enabled so that if, let's say, I have my Netflix subscription, my agent can pay for that so I don't have to do anything. Or if the process can somehow be recurring, that'd be great as well. But yeah, I think 5 years is not that long. So I don't know how, optimistic I can be and how much I can demand, but I want it to feel as simple as opening my Revolut account and doing things in there. I want it to feel native. I want it to be sleek and bonus points if it's got a good looking design.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I used to work at Binance, and I feel like Binance has done a tremendous job in terms of making centralized exchange feel like you're interacting with a Revolut account or something that is like really really super easy to use. And I would love to see that implemented in every single DeFi app that I'm personally using. And one more feature I would love to see everywhere, honestly, is selective disclosure, like a toggle that allows you to opt between like private state and public state. I think that would be super, super useful because there are some things that I don't actually care if they are private, but there are some things I would really, really want to keep public or private, specifically. So I also have rapid fire section for you, like just yes or no, this or that, super, super fast. Try not to overthink it, so it's very genuine.
Okay, let's do it.
Uh, let's do it. Most overrated crypto narrative.
Oh God, I'm already overthinking it. Um, I think right now, decentralization, don't kill me. I know it's important, but right now that is not a priority for the market.
Okay, accepted. Most underrated crypto narrative.
Privacy.
Love that. One founder every marketer should learn from.
Pedro Gomez, dude's only like 31 years old and he started Wallet Connect from the ground up.
I was like, who's that? I've never seen I've never seen like that. I'll look up one marketing lesson that cost you money.
Spending money on ads to promote a live stream on X, don't do it. It's not worth the money.
Agree. Privacy or transparency? If you had to
Privacy.
choose. It's not paid, by the way. It's not. Tell everyone it's not paid. On-chain reputation or anonymity?
If I'm rich, anonymity, but for now, I can have an on chain reputation because I'm not rich. So,
That's hilarious. Bear market or bull market?
bull, please, I'm getting depressed.
One prediction you'll either look brilliant or ridiculous for making in 5 years.
I think in 5 years, it will just call it tech and it's not going to be crypto or DeFi or TradFi, but it's going to be one big thing where the tech has largely evolved and maybe replaced chunks of the existing tech that we've had, but it's not going to be an us versus them situation anymore.
Mm, yeah, that's it. Actually, super interesting. I remember when I asked Kashvi, how does she explain what she does to normies, and she said, "I work in tech." I was like, I don't think I ever used that kind of expression. I always say like, I work for Bitcoin, I work for Ethereum, so they have like instant kind of association. But do you think the gap between tech and crypto is still that huge?
I don't think so because you see so many big players already jumping in and so many high profile people including the American government are talking about crypto that is it's not a dirty term anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Lastly, what is your personal goal to achieve by end of this year in crypto?
I think by the end of this year, I want to have another really epic piece of content of a location in the world where you can go up to the point of sale machine and pay with Wallet Connect Pay in whatever token you choose and walk away with whatever you bought in that store. I really love doing these, whether I'm filming them or writing the briefs for them and producing afterwards. I just really love to see the tech working in real life and people being excited and happy about it. So one more of these is my goal for the year.
Cool, cool. I love that. I instantly have a follow-up question. Do you consider yourself part of the new media everyone talks about now?
You know, the fun thing about new media is that, first of all, it's not new. It just means media that you own. So, your own newsletter, your own, I don't know, your own TikTok account. Versus paying money to Fox News or Bloomberg or whatever. The new media narrative was super hot at the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. Now, fewer people talk about it because we've moved on to the next thing. For me, I guess if we're being factual, yes, because I joined the media space in 2015 when people were already grabbing their own video cameras and going filming vlogs. I did that and writing for, your own blog. I did that too. So factually, yes, but I think that we're going to stop calling it new media because it's just the same thing now. It's one big media pool.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Cool. Thank you so much. It was super, super fun and insightful. Lots of food for thought. Where can we catch you next? What kind of event or um, anything are you planning to attend this summer?
For sure. The one event that I do have is CoinFest in Bali. So that's happening on August 20 and 21. Stay tuned. I can't reveal details, but we're doing something fun there. And then in the fall, obviously the circuit kicks off. So there's a couple of events in Asia. And I will guaranteed be at Solana Breakpoint in London this November. So I'll see you there. And in the meantime, you can hit me up on X at D_centralized. And thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.